it's Dawn Michelle and welcome back to my channel. Today I am super excited to do a one-shot reading with a new deck that I was just sent in to share with you all. So this is the Endless Tarot, and like y'all know, I absolutely love Eric's work. This is a prototype version of this deck, which is currently funding on Kickstarter. Like, it has funded, it's met its goals. I think we're working in stretch goals now, and it's just an amazing little tarot deck. We could do the proper walkthrough thing, but I thought it would be so much more fun to just jump in and give this deck a play, so that is what we are going to do today. I have a couple of Eric's other decks pulled out here to play with it, as well as some dice. So we'll talk about all those here in a moment, but before we get into all that, like, let's just take a quick flip through the deck. So again, this is a prototype version, so it's not the finalized version of this deck, but I've had a sneak peek of it with my members, and it's absolutely beautiful. Here's the backs, which have sort of Eric's kind of signature style on them, which I absolutely love. We're going to take just a really quick flip through this deck. I'm not going to linger too long on it. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. I love so many things about this deck. This deck might have my all-time favorite lovers card in it now. I mean, this is a really, really hard thing for me to say between this lovers and the Diablo lovers, because they kind of sit in very different places in my brain. But this lovers card, for those of you that know what Bloodweave is, yeah, this be the Bloodweave card. And I am obsessed with this lovers card. It's amazing. Anyway, that's my own little personal thing. I feel like this deck embodies that energy for me now, which is absolutely fantastic. It's not at all, I'm sure, Eric's intention, but that is just the like immediate connection I made once I saw that card. And for me personally, that's such an amazing connection to have to the deck, because it's such a personal thing for me anyway. So that little side tangent aside, let's just take a quick flip through the deck. So we have all of the majors. They are absolutely stunning. Stunning. This card also is like the Stargate card for me, and the fact that the world is a portal is just absolutely everything. I am so excited to play with this deck. So we have the wands. Again, we're just going to take a quick flip through just so you can see all of the cards really quickly. This is very similar to the Endless Oracle and the art style, and we're going to play with it with that deck a little bit. Whereas you can put the cards together and they will like make a scene. We'll see that when we actually do it in practice. I love this Nine of Wands. It is just such a gorgeous deck, but also like it's real smart. I really love Eric's decks. I really love the way that interprets the tarot with his art, and it's just, I think it's just amazing. This little Four of Cups with like, we have the one swan there, but we have like the little boats, little paper boats. It's just amazing. The Five of Cups with the fountain. Brilliant. It's also similar to the Ink Witch, and which is another of my favorite decks. And I love it. I think that's a brilliant metaphor for the Five of Cups. It's so beautiful. This deck has such a fantasy feel to it. Moving into our swords. Oh, I totally missed those cups, swords. It's fantastic. This, amazing. There's still like that Rider-Waite-Smith heartbreak, sorrow kind of energy that you can pick up in this card, but it's not locked into it. I absolutely love that. I just think it's an amazing deck. I'm so excited to play with it. Just quick little flip through for you. Again, this deck is currently funding on Kickstarter, so I'll have a link to that below if you want to go check it out. I do believe there are full images, and you'll be able to see, take a look at them closer up. They are absolutely stunning. This Two of Pentacles with the cats. Amazing. I love it. The Four of Pentacles with the dragon. Dragon energy for the Four of Pentacles is spot on. I really love that. It's a smart deck. The snail. There's just so many little things that I am just like, every time I flip through it, And really, I've only flipped through it a couple times, but every time I flip through it, like I kind of catch something new. All right, let's go ahead and pull these decks in, and we're gonna grab some dice here, and we're gonna do a bit of a one-shot reading. In case you're new to this series, let me quickly go over the idea. So this term is borrowed from the D&D community, where a one-shot is a self-contained game designed to be played in a single section. So with that in mind, my one-shot readings are those that are independent and stand apart from my normal practices. Most of the time, I'm just grabbing a few decks and I'm gonna throw cards down and see what happens. It's a very intuitive process. I don't have any spreads. I do not have a plan other than I kind of select a few decks, and sometimes those get changed out as I'm in the process. So I'm gonna give each of these decks here a quick shuffle. So I've got the Endless Tarot, the Endless Oracle, the True Sight Oracle, all decks by the same creator. Okay, and what else am I feeling? I was feeling the Alchemy deck, but at the moment, I'm actually more feeling the Sacred Destiny. So I'm going to throw this one into the mix. All right, so I have all my decks. Like, look at their backs even go together with my dice. And as this is a really intuitive process, I'm going to kind of clear these off, and I kind of have a little bit of an idea of what I'm thinking here. I'm going to keep the tarot off to the side. I'm feeling a little bit like I want to pull a Sacred Destiny as a focal point. So I feel like this is going to make a great focal point for my one-shot reading. So let's go ahead and pull a card. See what we get. We got action. Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking some action here. I feel like that's gonna work really well with what's going on in my brain. I'm gonna use the True Sight Oracle as sort of spread positions because I think it works really well for that. And what are we thinking? I'm thinking we're gonna do 3. So I'm going to do 1 here. Ooh, we got sleight of hand. Okay. I'm going to do 1 here. Deception. Some shady things going on with this action reading, and group check. Okay. All right. So now that I've got that, I want to go ahead and pull an Endless Tarot out. And I'm going to pull one in alignment for each of these cards. So let's pull a card for Sleight of Hand. We got the 9 of Swords. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, put that over there. And then let's see what our Deception is. The Magician. Those two work really well together, don't they? There's no real rhyme or reason to how I put cards on the table. I just like to be able to see them. I don't really want them too much covering up each other, but I definitely want to know what each little grouping is that I pulled. So we're going to kind of go this way. All right, so Magician with Deception and Group Check with the Empress. All right, that is interesting. Okay, so kind of just take a look at what I got going on here. We've got Action in the center. That's our focal point. We've got Sleight of Hand with the 9 of Swords. We've got Deception with the Magician, Group Check with the Empress. And then I do want to pull an Endless Oracle. Oh, okay, so we have Revelry. And the Butterfly. Oh, Butterfly energy. Love it, love it. Are we feeling like we need to go further? I don't know. I'm feeling like that's good. Okay, this is such an intuitive process, but I'm feeling like that is feeling good. Y'all know how I feel about guidebooks. Like, I love them, but I don't want to have to use them, but this is one of those cases where I enjoy using them. So let me get my glasses so I can actually read. In the Sacred Destiny guidebook, we have storm clouds gathering. So the sacred landscape wants you to know a shift is coming. The time is now. Don't hesitate. Face your fears and do it anyway. When big change is on the horizon, it's time to take action. There's some other stuff. Even if you're not 100% certain of your decision right now, it's better to make any choice than none at all. So it's all about jumping in, doing the thing. There's some change happening. There's definite shifts going on in this energy. And this card is telling us to just jump into that. Like, don't be scared of it. Just jump into it. However, I'm guessing there's some fears around this because we've got kind of this sleight of hand, 9 of Swords-y deception thing going on here. All right, so we have our sleight of hand card here with trickery and mischief. Someone is behaving in a tricky or mischievous way. A reminder that you have your own tricks to rely on. It's a really interesting way to look at it. And then we've got that with the 9 of Swords. There's some fears around, this action, a little bit of overwhelm, a little bit of like, maybe things are a little bit overblown in my head, but I do have some tricks up my sleeves to deal with this, right? I'm not solely at the mercy of this 9 of Swords card over here. So then we have deception. So let's get into the little guidebook for deception. So it says someone might be disguising themselves or their motivations. Alternatively, it says this card may also be a reflection of yourself. So ask yourself if you are behaving in a way that is honest and true to yourself. And we have that in alignment with the Magician here. So I'm feeling like there's some fears around, this idea of I can't do the thing, right? The Magician card, I can't manifest the thing. I know I've got some tricks up my sleeve. I love that in relation to the Magician energy, but I feel like there's a little bit of deceiving myself around my ability to do that. Like I think I can't do it, right? I think I don't have that, what it takes to get the thing done, to take the action. And then over here we have group check. So this is all about, teamwork, group efforts. It says some things require group effort for better or worse. This card suggests that you may need to rely on the help of a team in order to accomplish your goals. There's some other things written, but this tells me, and we've got that in alignment with the Empress. This tells me that it is my party, my group, my support system that will help me to get through this anxiety and this fear around this action that I need to take. And this is so fitting. Like I've said many times before, I don't do sample readings because they will always read me to filth regardless. And this little grouping here is 100% doing that. So definitely have some fears, but knowing that there is this support system. And then I'm going to look at these cards to kind of tell me, where my party or where this energy is going to take me. And then we have the revelry and the butterfly. And I love that the butterflies come up. I've kind of been joking that I'm having a butterfly year because I keep seeing butterflies. I keep filling my office with butterflies. Butterfly has been just like a huge energy for me this year. And I love that this is the card that came up because I feel like once I kind of wrap my brain around this and I actually let my support system help me through these struggles and these fears that I'm having, that's when the work is going to get done and I'm going to be able to celebrate those efforts. And I love that we have the butterfly here because that gives me the idea of those changes, right? This is a transformative process that I'm going to have to go through. When I can't trust in myself, I can trust in my support system because they will always have my back, right? They're always there for me. My party is always there. And I love that. That's a really robust reading as it is. Definitely calling me out on some things, but because I really like to expand my readings as much as I can, I want to go ahead and do a dice casting over it. I really thought these dice were more blue. This bag threw me. This is one of the dice sets from Critical Role. I think this is the Wild Mount set, maybe. I can't remember what its name is, but I really thought it was blue, but this looks more purple pink, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. So I'm going to dice cast over the top of these and hope that, nothing bounces off the table. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what I got here because actually I have a really spread out casting here. I'm going to move this one just up just a tad so it is actually in frame. So I have a pretty spread out cast here. So this tells me that this energy, it's not any one thing, right? It's all of these things that are coming together to create this kind of fear and insecurity. It's all of these things that are doing that. And I'm going to have to acknowledge that, lean on my support system in order to get to this place. But it's going to take all of those pieces coming together. When my dice cluster up real heavy on one set of cards, then that tells me a totally different story. But when they're nice and spread out like this is telling me that this whole thing is part of the process. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through the casting. So we're going to start with the D4. I have a 1, so that's air. So that's things of the intellect, mind, communication, thinking. Absolutely. That's definitely the energy I'm getting out of this reading. This is really, for me, this is all about work stuff. It's all about a current project that I'm undertaking. And I have a lot of fears and imposter syndrome around this particular project. And I do keep leaning on my support system to kind of help me through that, because I'm struggling with it. And I feel like that air, like it's my own thoughts that are getting in my way. And that's definitely represented by that D4 here with that source energy. So then we have our D20, and our D20 is sitting right here. I love this. It's sitting right here in my little group support cluster with a 17, which relates to the major arcana, the 17th card in the major arcana, which is the star for hope, navigation, purpose. Love that. That is telling me that this is where my hope is going to come from. This is the support. This is what I need to be looking for, right? This is my guiding North Star in a sense. Love that for that little cluster. Then we move on to our focus, which is our D12. So my focus is over here on my 9 of Swords card. And it's the furthest away of all the dice. So to me, that feels like this is where that focus is really sitting, and it's in that 9 of Swords, so it's in kind of the fears. So the number 8 is transformation. So this is in the dice casting system, it's loosely based on the houses of the zodiac, so it's ruled by Scorpio and the planet Pluto. It's all about death, sexuality, psychology. My focus is on the fears and on I'm trying to make this transformation energy. I'm trying to shift what it is that I'm doing, and I'm trying to get to this butterfly, right? That's my transformation. I'm trying to get to this butterfly, but I've got all these fears around it that are becoming more of my focus, where the butterfly, the transformative energy, should be more my focus. So then we move on to our D10s. So the D10s are reading the tens dice, which is way over here, and then the percentile dice, which is over here on the sleight of hand. So I have a 50 and a 7. So interesting that they are so far apart, because the process, the D10s for me represent the process. So right now, my process with this sleight of hand, these tricks I've got up my sleeve, a 57 is for me, it's in that upheaval energy. So there's a lot of upheaval here in the mind, in this whole grouping of cards, where I'm feeling like the process is really disconnected from this transformative energy that I'm trying to get to, because the other half of the transformative energy is over here on the other side of the butterfly. So that's really interesting. It feels like there's a very big disconnect between what I'm doing and the process that I actually need to be doing. There's a big disconnect there, and that's absolutely true. So our D8 is our phase, and we have a 2, just kind of flip them around so we can see them. So that's awareness, that's insight, focus, and planning. And that is on the action card. So that's on my main focus card. In order to do the action, I need to focus on planning, the awareness, the insight. Like I need to figure out what it is that I need to do in order to take that jump. And then we have our D6, which is kind of like our advice dice. I got a 5, which is clarity, communication, honesty, and expression. How beautiful is that with everything we have going on here, with the source being in air and in the mind and the intellect. We've got the 9 of Swords going on, all of this sort of disconnect and upheaval here with what's going on in my head around where I'm trying to get to. This is amazing. I gotta take a picture of it. I gotta find my phone. All right, just grab a picture of that beautiful reading, because as always, it was super spot on. I really love the idea of playing with these together. I think that they work really well in this way. I'm using each one, I feel like, really to their strengths. I'm gonna clear this off, and we're gonna do one last little having a play. Now, because these are sort of story-based, I'm gonna try a little narrative. So we've got the 9 of Pentacles. All right, so we're gonna go out on a journey. Cool. And I'm gonna pull from the Endless Oracle for each step in between, because I wanna see how they all go together. Ooh, we're questing to the graveyard. That's kind of amazing. So I've got a Knight of Pentacles. He's gonna take his time. He's gonna get to the graveyard. At the graveyard, he's gonna meet the High Priestess. Oh, I love that. I'll tell a little story here. Gonna meet the High Priestess in the graveyard. I mean, she totally looks like she could be hanging out in the graveyard. I think that's amazing. And let's see what the High Priestess has to tell us. Ooh, she's telling us that there is a battle coming. This card is making me think of the Morgan. That just keeps happening for me. That's a totally separate thing, but that just keeps happening for me. All right, so the High Priestess, I'm going to move these up because I definitely want to continue this story and to see where it goes. Try and keep them all together so they make a little storybook. So the High Priestess is warning us that there's a battle coming. Love that, love that. Okay, so let's see now what that battle is going to be about. We've got the Four of Wands here. So really that battle feels like it's about a battle for place, for belonging, for maybe cultivating some stability in life. I'm kind of going off center for a reason here. There's things happening in my brain. So the battle is about place. I'm feeling like it's about a sense of place. And I'm feeling like because we have the High Priestess with the graveyard, I'm feeling like this is an internal battle that's going to be fought here. But let's just see. We've got the bridge. Beautiful. So we need to traverse from this space over the bridge to move beyond it. And when we move beyond it, oh, maybe we're not going to move beyond it yet. We're going to take a moment. Both the bridges. I mean, this is amazing. Okay, so we're not going to move beyond it yet. We're going to take a moment. We know we need to cross that bridge. But instead of crossing it, we're going to take a moment. We're going to sit with that transformative energy, right? We're going to sit with this idea of moving from one space to another. And maybe this is like the time that we need to really think about this internal battle that we're having, this sense of place, this sense of self, this sense of belonging, perhaps. Maybe we're feeling a bit disconnected from that. We have the graveyard. Remember, we met the High Priestess in the graveyard. So this is telling me that this is something that needs to be buried. It needs to be left behind. We need to cross the bridge. But in order to do that, we need to take the time to actually sit with it, to be with it, to understand it. And once we do that, let's see where we get next. We get the Artist. So we'll be able to free that creative energy that's been locked up inside. I mean, that's kind of fitting. I feel like that's where we're going to end. That's where we're going to end up, is with the Artist energy. So this, me again, love when my decks just call me out, because this could totally be a story for me. This is me over here in the Knight of Pentacles. I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this thing. I just don't know if I've got it in me. I don't know if I've got it, if it's going to be accepted, if it's going to be the theme that needs to be put out into the world. And I got to sit with that. I got to sit with that, move beyond that if I want to get to this artist energy, to embracing that authentic sense of self, or what it is that I'm trying to create, right? I've got to do that. I've got to embrace it. And just for fun, I mean, I've got kind of an amazing little story going on here anyway, but like I love pulling in as much as I possibly can. All the things. So let's pull a True Sight, and I'm going to pull it right here. So we have dice. So I'm going to use this as like what's going to help me get beyond this. And the thing about dice, let's see what Eric has to say about dice. And I opened right up to it. So fate, luck, risk. Y'all, there was a D4 in my sleeve. That's hilarious. It snuck up in there. Okay, so dice in the True Sight is all about fate, luck, and risk. Dice reminds us that we only have a limited amount of control over our destiny. So it says, this card may encourage you to take a chance and roll the dice. Standing still will accomplish nothing. It's usually better to embrace the unknown than it is to try and resist the whims of destiny. I love that. The idea of like, it's scary, but yeah, you just gotta embrace the risk. You gotta do the thing, even though it's super scary and like you're not sure it's gonna really come out. But that's what I need to move through this whole process. And just for fun, because I've left holes here specifically, let's see if it'll fit. I'm gonna pull a Sacred Destiny card just to see as like a wrap-up message and see what we're gonna take away from this experience. Oh my God, love. Aw, that's beautiful. I really like that. Okay, so once I get through this scary situation, I just kind of embrace the risk and the challenge that it is, and I just go for it. But like also, but I'm taking the time I need to do the things and to do the work around it so that I can move through it in a way that's going to support this sort of artist vision. And I've got the love card here. Coming through this is going to help me create the thing that I absolutely love. And that's amazing. I love this. This whole being able to use these decks together for storytelling is so fantastic. I could think of so many ways to play with them like this. We would be here for a really long time if I went into all of them, but that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how I'm probably going to play with them in terms of creating readings that really tap into narrative and story. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Big thank you to Eric for sending me this deck to share with you all today. I am so excited to play with this one and to bring it into my own practice. I think it's going to be a really great addition to the work that I do. I love that I can sort of gamify it. I love that I can one-shot it, play with it. I think it's going to be an amazing one for me to work with. So the time I'm filming this deck is currently funding on Kickstarter. It's got a few weeks to go. Definitely go check it out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.